This is QTV News and I am Jenna Bosonko. Coming up. The Gambia government has signed an MOU with its UAE counterpart, which once implemented should go a long way towards addressing concerns and protecting the rights of Gambians working in the Emirates. Former investigative reporter Pa Usman Dabo, who worked with the Independent and Daily Observer newspapers on Tuesday, alleged that late journalist Chief Ibrahim Mane was arrested in his presence in August 2006. Serekunda's black market has a reputation as a place where stolen goods are sold. How true is this depiction of the place? A fire in Bakau has destroyed a garage and the vehicles parked within. There is a little hamlet close to the nation's capital that seems unknown to many. There is a thriving community despite the daily problems they face. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. Stay with us. The governments of the Gambia and the United Arab Emirates have signed a memorandum of understanding that will provide a legal framework for protecting the rights of Gambians working in the United Arab Emirates. Aliou Cisse reports.
The MOU was signed on behalf of the Gambia government by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad, Dr. Modu Tangara, in Abu Dhabi, on the sidelines of President Barrow's official visit. The UAE Minister of Human Resources, His Excellency Nasir bin Tami Juma Al-Hamli, signed on behalf of his government. The bilateral agreement, which was preceded by a meeting between President Barrow and the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, will provide legal protection for Gambian workers and effectively eliminate the risk of illegal recruitment and deployment of workers by shady recruitment agencies. Over the years, many Gambians, mostly young ladies, have been tricked and trafficked to Middle East, including Lebanon and Kuwait. They were firstly promised decent jobs with good salaries, only to realize on arrival that they had been sold by traffickers to work unpaid without being able to walk away. This will sometimes be followed by inhuman treatment by their so-called buyers. It is reported that about 25 million children and adults are suffering from labor and sex trafficking around the world. Shockingly, it is estimated that the only winners, the traffickers, generate a whopping $13 billion profit each year. The 2019 Trafficking in Persons report, released in June 2019, found that the government of the Gambia does not fully meet the minimum standard for the elimination of trafficking and is not making significant efforts to do so. Consequently, in this year's TIP report, the Gambia was ranked at Tier 3. According to the report, part of the reason for such an adverse ranking is that the Gambia government did not complete any trafficking prosecution for a second consecutive year, identified and assisted fewest number of trafficking victims in 5 years, failed to protect trafficking victims from intimidation, and decreased efforts to raise public awareness about human trafficking. Under this MOU, Gambian workers will have to be in possession of an employment offer duly signed by both the worker and employer, verified and approved by the Gambian government before deployment. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Important step there if properly implemented. Former investigative reporter Pa Usman Dabo, who worked with the Independent and Daily Observer newspapers on Tuesday, alleged that late journalist Chief Ibrahim Mane was arrested in his presence in August 2006. He gave chilling details of how Chief Mane was being transferred from one police station to another until his demise. He made this disclosure while testifying at the ongoing TRRC proceedings. Meanwhile, earlier on Tuesday, former treasurer of the Gambia Press Union, Pa Mamadou Fall, also testified before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. And Soumana Esonyasi is covering the proceedings, and this is his report.
Testifying via Skype call, Pa Usman Dabo, who worked as an investigative journalist for Daily Observer and the Independent newspaper between 1998 and 2006, on Tuesday made disturbing revelations while testifying at the ongoing Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission's public proceedings. His testimony focused mainly on the arrest and subsequent disappearance of former Daily Observer reporter Chief Ibrahim Mane and the intimidation of journalists by agents of the defunct National Intelligence Agency. In his testimony, he alleged that Chief Mane was arrested in his presence on Saturday, August 1, 2006, while they were working at the Daily Observer. He told the commission that he knew one of the two plainclothes officers who arrested Chief Mane and identified him as Sirif C. Furthermore, he also alleged that former Daily Observer manager Dr. Seyatal was responsible for Chief Mane's arrest and gave chilling details of how he was transferred from one police station to another in an attempt to hide his whereabouts.
You also told us that Dr. Seyatal was the one that reported Chief. Can you tell us how he reported him?
When Dr. Seyatal came to the Daily Observer with Pamali Fai, he met with one of my uncles, and he called him and says, "Mr. Dabo," with this paper in his hand, he got it from the store, our Observer store. He said to me, "I entrust this paper to you, but on the whole, you are stabbing me on my back." This was, printed, and you guys decided to keep it away from me, away whom I did not trust, whom I called as a griot, was the one who informed me about this. I'm going to call Captain Lamin Sen to arrest all the editorial members, and by the time he's through with you guys, you're going to see who was the one responsible for this article.
Furthermore, the witness alleged that he received credible information that Chief's health deteriorated drastically while he was in detention, and that at some point he was admitted at the intensive care unit at the RVTH in Banjul. He also told the commission that he was informed by a police officer that Chief was buried in Garawal in the URR after he died while in state custody.
It was until after our testimony, the Gambia government was fined to pay Chief Mane's family $100,000. That was the verdict of the ECOWAS court.
Do you know if the Gambian government took any steps to investigate the disappearance of Chief Mane?
No, they did not.
The witness, who testified as one of the witnesses in the Chief Mane case at the ECOWAS Court of Justice, fled into exile after he received information that he was on the NIS radar. Earlier on Tuesday, Pamamudu Fall, former treasurer of the Gambia Press Union, also testified before the commission. He was testifying on the arbitrary arrest of reporters of the independent newspaper, the closure of the Independent, the assassination of journalist Omar Barrow and Deda Haidara, respectively. In his testimony, he alleged he saw armed soldiers firing live rounds at students who were protesting around Westfield in April 2000.
So you were telling us that you were on your way to Banjul to go to the mortuary because you were told that the late Omar Barrow's corpse was at the mortuary.
Yes.
Please tell us what happened when you arrived.
Yes. Instead of thinking my sister who was admitted there, I went straight to the mortuary. Whilst I arrived, I saw them, putting Omar on those, taking him to the mortuary. So I went with them to the mortuary. But I saw him, when he was with a blue shirt. I could remember, with a blue shirt, so blood was somewhere around his body. So that day, I felt bad that day. I felt so sad that very day. I saw Omar when he was taken to the mortuary.
The witness also alleged that he was arrested and detained at the NIA headquarters following the release of GPU's statement responding to remarks made by former President Jammeh regarding the assassination of Deda Haidara. Ansumana Sonyasi for KTV News.
A fire outbreak at a garage at Bakau Newtown has destroyed 4 vehicles. According to eyewitnesses, the fire broke out after midnight on Tuesday morning, Babukar Sise reports.
The charred remains of 4 vehicles burnt beyond repair. The cause of the fire is still unclear, leaving many speculating on what might have caused the inferno. Abdurrahman Jallo, a local resident who was present that night, appears to suggest that the fire was an arson attack. He also blames the Bakau Fire Service for not turning up in time to avert the disaster.
My job, di ñew suma ben rakka kol ma mu ne ma dem ci fire service bi.
I went to Bakau Fire Service and they said their vehicle is not good. I think someone may have thrown a cigarette butt, or it might be caused by someone who is jealous. Another witness, Musa Sane, says the cause of the fire remains a mystery. He believes that the damage could have been less if the fire and rescue services arrived on time.
Because there is no electricity at this place that we can say, okay, it's electric failure and stuff. We didn't see. The cars that started the fire have no batteries in them, in fact. They are not even running. So you never know what started this fire, definitely. We just saw the fire and we cannot even tell what started the fire. When fire occurs, the first thing that was supposed to happen was you call fire service and they are there, it's sharp. But this was not the case. They came, but it was late. To be honest, it was late because the damage has already been done by then. It was late.
The owner of the garage, Ali Sinyan, says he was called after midnight and told that his garage was on fire. When he arrived, most of the damage was already done. He admits he is too broke to compensate the owners whose cars were damaged. It is up to the vehicle owners, but I put my faith in God. If they ask me to pay, then I will need help because I don't have the money to pay for them. The Range Rover is expensive. It was brought here to be painted and the owner just arrived from Spain. The owner of the Range Rover that was among the cars engulfed by the inferno says he is devastated. The Range Rover was painted yesterday and I should have collected it. But they told me to wait for the next day, so I am sad. The fire was eventually put out by Serekunda Fire Service, but it was too little too late as the damage was already done. If the garage owner had also employed a night watchman, perhaps the damage might have been minimal or even prevented. Babakar Sise, QTV News.
Unfortunate situation there. Ndangan is a hidden village within the Banjul area. Residents express both the challenges they face and explain their living conditions. Despite its hidden location, our reporter Ajibinto Drame managed to find a way to the village.
Ndangan village is located in Banjul North, capital city of the Gambia. Surprisingly, even Banjulians do not know of this small village, almost on their doorstep. The village lies between Denton Bridge and Banjul City and is inhabited by Gambians, mostly Jolas. According to some, they settled in the village because of water-based occupations such as fishing and oyster farming to make a living. Although people have been living in the village for decades, to an outsider conditions do not appear to be good. The beautiful swamps and rivers are covered with litters. Unhealthy smoke pollutes the environment. The road network is poor, however, the natives of the village say they are content with their living standards. There are huts in the village more than 3 decades old. They are still standing and in use. Given its closeness to the river, the village has never experienced flood, no matter how heavy the rain. Oyster shells are used as stockade to stop the river water entering the hamlets. The floors are covered with oyster shells and carpets to enable people to walk comfortably. Early in the morning, people leave the area to work outside of the village. Some residents depart to work as port officers, nurses, and others go fishing along the river. Hadijata, a widow and a resident of Ndangan village, and one of the earliest settlers, says she was the only female in the village when her husband and herself came to settle in the village, aside from the matriarch of the village, who is now deceased. Hadi was living in Ibo town but transferred in the village in search of a livelihood. When she first came here, she says she found the village to be both unique and beautiful. However, she adds that now, because of the polluted environment, the village is being destroyed. She mentioned some of the challenges they face.
We have never experienced flood, even if it rains for 5 days. We do not see water flooding our compounds. Everything goes back to the river. What I am pleading now is access to electricity. We used to lament the poor access to clean water in a school. Now, we have them. The only thing we want is access to electricity and a good road network. These are the main problems we are facing, especially electricity. The late mayor of Banjul sponsored us with solar. When we sell our oysters and fishes, if there is any left over, we do not have where to store it. It will spoil and it's our loss.
A few zinc houses were built by what the villagers describe as Good Samaritans. These Good Samaritans are their pastors and some Swedish people who also fix water taps and solar to improve their living standards. Hadi says this place is where she gave birth to all her children. Among them is a 26-year-old volunteer teacher in the village. Her other children are in the diaspora and they send remittances to help her with the little things she needs. However, despite the not so conducive environment, Hadi says her neighbors are the best. They live in tranquility and help each other when the need arises. The village has one classroom in what they call their school. The school is a pre-nursery school built by some Swedish people. Children within the village and Banjul attend the school village. Augustus Sanyang had a son, volunteers to teach the children after the previous teacher quit from her job. He says he wants to see the children educated and be among the civilized generation. He explains the challenges he faces and pleads for government help. Sylvia, who did not want to speak on camera, says the difficulty of the lack of a good road network and lack of electricity is a challenge they face. She says everywhere gets pitch dark during the night. Even to watch TV, children have to go somewhere else to watch and there are snakes all over the place. Her husband bought a TV set for her, which the village used to watch before it got spoiled. Sylvia further states that when she goes out during the night, she gets scared, but only God can protect her. She says that due to the poor road network, she has given birth twice in her house because vehicles could not get into their house, and she says that on the last occasion, she lost her unborn twins before she could get to the hospital. She urges government to come to their aid and improve the road conditions. Ajibintu Dwame, QTV News.
Well, we will now take a short commercial break, and when we return, the news continues.
Looking for a fun and interesting way for your kids to spend summer holidays? Then look no further than Q City Summer Camp. The Q City Summer Camp has various activities to keep your kids aged 6 to 16 years occupied and entertained throughout the summer holidays. Ranging from football, basketball, tennis, swimming, dance aerobics, tug of war, musical chairs, indoor and outdoor playgrounds, bouncing castles, and many more jam-packed activities. Q City Summer Camp commences from the 19th of July to the 6th of September. It costs only $150 Cs per day and $500 C per week only. Delicious food is served and available from our Q City food court. Rush and book now because spaces are limited. For more information, call 3372489 or 3655463 or visit our website qcity.gm.
Gambia Library and Information Service, in collaboration with Educare and Future Leaders Network, have donated 200 books and provided lunch and desserts to patients in Tanka Tanka.
Gambia Library and Information Service GAMLISA, the umbrella body responsible to promote and protect the welfare of librarians, in partnership with Educare, which promotes education and skill development, in collaboration with Future Leader Network, donated 200 books including lunch, dessert, and detergent to the patients in Tanka Tanka. Aissatou Sow, PRO of GAMLISA, the head of Educare, and a member of FLN, all spoke about the importance of volunteerism.
With us, that is the joy of volunteerism. Wherever you see young people coming together, working together, you also show your support in any other way that you can. Volunteerism is not about money. It's not about what you have. You can have your tools, approach your neighbor, he's in need, you help him out. That's volunteerism. You can see a society that's been led astray. You go down there, sit with them, chat with them, have a chat with them, through which you can be educating them as well. That is volunteerism. As well as donating whatever you have. You might have something that you feel like someone doesn't need it, but there are hundreds down there who needs it. You can also give out in cash, in kind, whatever you can. That's how the societies and educate the young ones, educate our fellows, our peers who doesn't know.
Haji Bahaja, Country Director of Future Leader Network, Gambia, says the effectiveness of volunteerism can give an individual the opportunity to travel, form and maintain good relationships, work with talented professionals, and make a difference in education. Aliu Sonko, Senior Library Officer at the Gambia National Library, gave a presentation about the existence of libraries in the Gambia's history.
Library services started well before independence. Then the National Library was located at opposite Bakau Garas, where you have today NCAC. That's where library services started by the colonial government before independence. Then it was not until 1976, because I have to talk about my library, because I have to popularize it. Because there are some people in this room who've never been to the library. So I want to popularize my library, really. Are you one of them? That's serious. I know after this speech, you will definitely visit the library. So it was in 1976 when the British government gave a grant to the then government of the Gambia, and then a library was built at its present site. And it was officially opened on the 15th December 1976. So it became known as the Gambia National Library.
Edmond T. Shinobi, President of the Gambia Library and Information Service, spoke about the importance of reading in the mental health of an individual.
In order to promote well-being for all, societies need to support those suffering from mental health difficulties. Libraries have their part to play. It is clear in the case of physical health that access to information is essential both in preventing illness by people making better choices about how they live, but also by driving forward medical innovation. In the case of mental health, libraries provide a safe, secure place where people of all ages can seek calm and time to reflect. They give access to collections which provides explanations, examples, and reassurance. Increasingly, now doctors are prescribing not medicines, but books as a means of helping people to overcome their situation.
Lamin Jawara, Secretary General of Educare, says gender-based violence is a developing issue in the country and the government should play their role to stop it. Yankuba Suare, a nurse in Tanka Tanka, says that there is no vaccine for mental health. He urges the government and individuals to support and help the patients because mental health is a sickness that can happen to anyone. Reporting for QTV News, I am Mamjara Esise.
Good gesture there that deserves to be emulated. The infamous black market in Serekunda is a place where people meet to trade a variety of things and where many earn their living to feed their families regardless of the area's reputation or notions others have about the sport. Ibrahim Abalde visited the black market and spoke to some of the people about the operations there.
The black market in Serekunda has been in existence for over a decade. It has developed a reputation as a place where people meet and sell different goods, ranging from mobile phones, TVs, radios, etc. According to some, the black market is claimed to be a den of thieves and criminals. There have been many police raids and arrests at the place in an attempt to recover lost or stolen articles. However, according to Babukar Cham, not everybody that sells here is a criminal. This is where I work. People judge us from the name black market. And the way people portray the black market and the way it is are two different things. It's true that in every place you have the good and the bad ones. For us, this is where we work and have all our daily needs and earn enough to feed our families. Some of us have been able to afford to marry our wives through the money we earn from the black market. Let people not take us as bad people because we also have legal businesses operating here. Going through all the corners of the black market, you can see youth standing around displaying phones and other articles for sale. The prices are negotiable. Some said they make good money at the end of the day. Yero said he knows all the in and outs of the black market, and he also expressed his dismay at the different allegations about the black market. We face a lot of problems here. We are all clean. All we do is to sell our products. We are not here to bring problems to anybody. Sometimes people just judge you without knowing you. We are not thieves. I have never stolen any property from anybody. We are all Gambian young men trying to earn a living. Mohamed Job is a veteran of the black market and has his shop there. According to him, authorities have been threatening to close down the shops at the black market. People think that when you say black market, we are all criminals. If you see the boys coming here, it's because they don't have jobs. That's why they come and try to earn their living. We have good people among us. There is no need to paint a negative image of us. We are family here. We are not bad. We are all Muslims and Christians. If people hear the name, they panic. There is no need for that. Every person gets what has been planned for you. Because of its location and daily transactions, people also sell food and other things to earn their living. The youths at the market spoke to us and called on the government to take it easy with them, as they are there simply to earn their living. Ibrahim Abalde, QTV News.
Students of Yundum Barracks, Upper and Lower Basic School have benefited from a peace-building symposium. The symposium, organized by the Peace Club in the school, exposes young children to the importance of peace in society. The school's Peace Club aims to instill peace values in young children in their formative years. Momodulamin Choi was there, and he finds out the significance of the event and what peace means to the kids.
Peace is one of, if not the most important asset to a nation. An early childhood peace education means a building up of a future peaceful country. Both primary and upper basic school students of Yundum Barracks Upper and Lower Basic School take peace lessons as part of their extracurricular activities. I asked these grade 4 students the meaning and significance of peace.
Young children are supposed to learn peace because peace is very important. If there is no peace, we can't be able to communicate. Peace is very important here. When peace is in the family, you should be happy. But when peace is not in the family, every day is trouble.
It's very important because without peace, you will do bad things and every day you will fight. That's why I like peace.
These young students whom I interviewed are daughters of military personnel, send a peace message which, when implemented, will mark a total silencing of the guns, not only in the Gambia, but also Africa. Teachers in the school are united with the students in nurturing the culture of peace within them. Peace training at their formative years is important, they say.
We have a coordinator, an outside facilitator who comes and have lectures with us here. That is every week he has some time with the students here. So we are also internally here to assist them. Okay, we are trying to spread the message at the school level. Although it's a very young club, but we are trying to come up. So when we go further, we would like to extend to the larger community where everybody will be sensitized and have access to our peace education lectures.
Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Well, interesting story there. Before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. The governments of the Gambia and the United Arab Emirates have signed a memorandum of understanding that will provide a legal framework for protecting the rights of Gambians working in the United Arab Emirates. Former investigative reporter Pa Ousmane Darboe, who worked with the Independent and Daily Observer newspapers, on Tuesday alleged that late journalist Chief Ibrahim Mane was arrested in his presence in August 2006. He gave chilling details of how Chief Mane was being transferred from one police station to another until his demise. He made this disclosure while testifying at the ongoing TRRC proceedings. Meanwhile, earlier on Tuesday, former treasurer of the Gambia Press Union, Pa Mamadou Fall, also testified before the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. A fire outbreak at a garage at Bakau Newtown has destroyed 4 vehicles. According to eyewitnesses, the fire broke out after midnight on Tuesday morning. That's all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for watching.